You are barren and cold, and you want everyone else to be miserable just like you." My sister Clara screamed this directly into my face, her body fully blocking the only exit available from my apartment door. Behind her, my niece and nephew sobbed loudly on the hardwood floor, surrounded by overstuffed suitcases and scattered winter coats. She was attempting to pressure me into signing a carefully drafted fraudulent affidavit so she could illegally secure a district school placement for her children while she vacationed on some tropical beach. I did not shout or react in anger. I remained perfectly motionless and silent in place, holding a single manila folder against my chest. I simply glanced down and checked my watch. It's 2011. The elevator bell dinged softly down the hallway outside. Perfect timing. The auditor had arrived. Before I tell you what was hidden inside that plain folder and why my sister shifted from screaming fierce demands to desperate pleas for silence in exactly 3 minutes. Drop a comment. Where are you watching from and what time is it for you, right? Now, to understand why I was not screaming back at Clara, or why my pulse had not climbed above 70 beats per minute, you first need to understand how my brain processes situations like this. I do not perceive family drama or emotion. I see broken systems and supply chain inefficiencies. My name is Elon, and for the past 7 years, I have managed complex international logistics operations for a major global technology corporation. My responsibility is to anticipate potential disasters, identify critical bottlenecks, and systematically eliminate every possible risk. I structure my entire life around one simple, guiding principle. If you cannot track something precisely, you absolutely cannot trust it at all. 3 hours before Clara appeared outside my front door, I was seated quietly at my kitchen island with black coffee steaming beside a detailed spreadsheet open across my laptop. I was not reviewing shipping containers leaving Shanghai. I was carefully auditing the family inputs ledger covering the last 36 months of financial history. The totals were staggering. $22,000. That was the exact sum I had transferred to Clara across 3 years without interruption. She labeled them urgent emergency loans in distress. I categorized them as irrecoverable bad personal debt. I slowly scrolled through every documented row, studying the memo lines I had meticulously recorded for each single transaction with precise, careful wording. Row 14. Emergency medical bill for nephew listed. I cross-referenced the date against her public social media activity archive. That identical week, she scheduled preventative cosmetic Botox. Row 26, rent assistance to prevent sudden eviction. I examined the timestamps very carefully afterward. 2 days later, she posted a glamorous photo of a brand new designer handbag, captioned proudly, "Treat yourself." Clara was not simply irresponsible financially. She was a deliberate and practiced system gamer. She believed rules, budgets, and even laws existed as obstacles for foolish people, and that she was clever enough to easily bypass them all. She imagined herself a strategic genius who successfully hacked the entire system. She never realized she was merely a parasite slowly draining a host. But the $22,000 was not the true reason I was holding that folder so firmly today. The real catalyst was a single official letter that had quietly arrived in my secured mailbox 3 days earlier unexpectedly. It was formal correspondence from the Lake Washington School District Administration Office. It was addressed to parent or legal guardian of Liam and Ava, yet it had been mailed directly to my private penthouse residence address. It's the address where absolutely no children ever lived. I opened it calmly and read the bold headline printed at top: notice of mandatory residency verification audit. Clara had not merely asked permission to drop the kids off during her vacation. She had forged my signature on official enrollment documents to illegally obtain a placement in the most expensive school district in the entire state. She was using my home as a shell address to actively defraud local taxpayers and authorities. And now the district had grown suspicious enough They were dispatching an inspector to physically confirm that the children actually slept inside this residence. Most reasonable people would have immediately called their sister in furious panic. They would have screamed for answers and demanded she correct the deception. I did not choose that reaction at all. In logistics, when you intercept counterfeit shipment goods, you never alert smugglers. You allow the shipment to fully reach. Port, you let them sign the official manifest documents. You let them willingly take full possession first. That way, when you drop the hammer later, they cannot claim confusion. They cannot argue it was merely clerical error. You secure everything, firmly on official record first. So I waited patiently. I knew she was coming eventually, without doubt. I understood she needed to stage my apartment to appear convincingly lived in before inspection occurred. I monitored the clock with quiet precision awareness. I sipped my cooling coffee without distraction, calmly. And I prepared myself to accept the shipment so I could meticulously document every layer of fraud in progress clearly. The invasion began precisely 2 hours before the inspector was scheduled arriving. At noon, my buzzer rang abruptly downstairs. I did not hesitate. I pressed the button, unlocking the lobby entrance downstairs, and monitored the security feed as Clara. My mother, Brenda, and both children crowded into the elevator car together tightly. They did not bother to knock upon arrival at the penthouse level. They simply stood outside expecting me to open the heavy front door. And the instant I did, they flooded inside like a conquering force. Clara did not offer any greeting whatsoever first. She hauled 2 enormous suitcases across my foyer, their wheels scraping harsh dark streaks over marble. She scanned my living room, minimalist, spotless, silent, and curled her lip with visible disgust. God, Aylin, she muttered sharply, dropping her jangling keys onto my console table. It feels like a morgue in here. Do you actually live here, or do you store yourself away between shifts? It is freezing. It is climate controlled, I replied calmly, shutting the door behind the invasion. It is soulless, she corrected, without hesitation, coldly. She pivoted toward the children immediately. Okay, go scatter. Make it appear like you truly exist. My mother, Brenda, followed closely behind her daughter, balancing a heavy grocery bag against her hip. She shot me a look, blending pity and faint disappointment together. Do not just stand there, Ellen. Assist your sister properly right now. We must make this place appear occupied before the school official arrives. Frankly, you should appreciate us. We are finally bringing genuine warmth into this hollow glass container. I leaned back quietly against the hallway wall and observed. Their choreography was fascinating, disturbingly clinical in execution. Clara unzipped suitcases dramatically and extracted staged props, piles of dirty laundry, a half-eaten cereal box, Kay toothbrush caddy holding for mismatched plastic. Brushes. She was transforming my home into staged cinema. Put the Legos scattered on the rug, she ordered my nephew briskly. And abandon your shoes beside the entrance doorway. Make everything appear chaotic. She approached me again, holding a framed photograph of her smiling children. She thrust it firmly into my waiting hands. Place this on the mantel immediately for effect. Right now, you are committing fraud, Clara, I said evenly and softly. You forged my legal signature without consent. Clara laughed abruptly and sharply. 'Twas a brittle, barking sound of contempt. She regarded me like a sheltered, naive child, ignorant of worldly mechanics. Oh, grow up, Elaine. This is not fraud. It is strategic thinking. Do you understand how high property taxes are within this district boundary? Thousands annually without mercy? And since you lack children entirely, that revenue is practically squandered here. I am merely reclaiming what our family deserves. She tapped her temple with manicured, polished fingernail. The system exists for those too timid to seize opportunity themselves freely. Only fools obey every rule unquestioningly, Elaine. Smart individuals manipulate the framework. We exploit weaknesses cleverly. I located a loophole. I leveraged it efficiently. Now my children receive elite schooling funded publicly. You should observe carefully instead of criticizing innovation. I studied her posture. This was Clara distilled to her absolute core. She did not perceive herself criminal or dishonest. She envisioned herself brilliant. She believed rules were mere suggestions for mediocrity, and that deception without hesitation signaled evolutionary superiority. She truly believed she outsmarted the district authorities, the government apparatus, and certainly me as well. And besides, my mother added casually while unpacking a carton of milk into my refrigerator uninvited. What exactly are you doing with this excessive space all alone here? You occupy 3 bedrooms by yourself selfishly, Eileen. It is hoarding square footage unnecessarily while your sister squeezes into cramped townhouse conditions daily. The least you can offer is access to a dress. Costs you absolutely nothing tangible at all. Costs me my integrity, I replied calmly. Clara rolled her eyes dismissively and tossed coloring books across my glass coffee table carelessly. Your integrity will not keep you warm at night. You are resentful because you are utterly alone, but relax. I am correcting that temporarily today. For the next hour, you can pretend you possess a meaningful domestic life. She clapped briskly toward the children again. Okay, bathroom next, quickly. Want toothpaste smeared inside the sink basin. Make everything appear authentic. I watched them scatter energetically across my rooms. I did not intervene. I did not eject them from premises. I merely checked the time. It's 1 hour and 45 minutes until audit begins. The inventory shipment was arriving precisely as scheduled. Evidence was planted carefully by suspects' own hands. All required was patience until excavation completed fully. Here, let me assist you, I offered quietly, stepping forward from shadow. Clara studied me suspiciously for a microcond before her vanity reasserted control. She misread my cooperation as long-awaited surrender entirely. To her, I was finally kneeling in defeat. To me, I secured airtight chain of custody. I lifted my nephew's mud-caked sneakers carefully. Do not abandon them by the doorway entrance, I suggested gently instead. If you truly resided here daily, you would discard them near television while watching cartoons lazily. Place them squarely atop the living room rug. Clara smiled triumphantly wide. See, she understands strategy. Mom, she is contributing constructively. At last today. I moved into kitchen space deliberately and slowly. My mother rearranged cereal boxes inside my pantry, shoving organic quinoa packages and imported coffee backward to accommodate neon sugar loops and juice cartons. It felt invasive physically, a trespass against sanctuary I built meticulously myself. Every instinct urged action to seize her wrist and expel them instantly. But within logistics frameworks, emotion constitutes liability risk. Data remains. Sole reliable asset in volatile situations. If I expel them prematurely, narrative splits evenly. They might claim innocent, visit intentions entirely harmless. They might portray me unstable or hysterical publicly. But if I permitted full staging of deception, if I allowed environmental alteration to defraud authorities, then I was not merely passive witness observer. I became auditor, methodically documenting active crime scene. You should display the children's artwork prominently, I advised Brenda evenly. Place magnets high as pride. Excellent suggestion, Brenda beamed, pressing a crooked crayon dog onto stainless steel surface of refrigerator proudly. It softens atmosphere considerably, less clinical and robotic. I checked my watch, 1:30 precisely this afternoon. 30 minutes. To target, I've drifted through rooms like silent apparition, observing transformation unfold gradually. They were meticulous beyond necessity. They were not simulating residence alone convincingly. They were systematically erasing every trace of me, Architectural journals disappeared beneath parenting, tabloids, and coupons. My laptop vanished inside drawer to accommodate loud iPad blasting cartoon noise. Clara entered kitchen doorway holding something ceramic. It was a mug, inexpensive pink ceramic with "World's Best Mom" printed in flaking golden letters. She set it carefully beside my polished espresso machine, front and perfectly centered. "There," she announced proudly, brushing imaginary dust away. "Now it finally resembles a real functioning home." You know, Elaine, you might actually learn something from observing all this. A house never becomes a home until chaos exists inside its walls, until it carries living, breathing purpose within it. Purpose, I echoed slowly. Yes, purpose. Raising children, shaping the future actively. Not simply organizing anonymous boxes across continents daily. She waved vaguely toward the outline of my entire structured professional life. I mean, what exactly occupies your hours daily? You monitor shipments endlessly. You relocate cargo from point A to B. It feels temporary, disposable. What I accomplish as a mother, that endures. That is lasting and eternal in impact. I studied the fragile pink mug silently for a moment. I studied the muddy sneaker staining. White rug. I studied my mother rearranging throw pillows strategically to conceal luxury brand labels stitched discreetly beneath. You are right, Clara, I answered evenly and calmly without visible irritation. Tracking assets is essential. You must know precisely where every item exists. Otherwise, control over inventory slips quietly from grasp. I checked my watch again deliberately and slowly. 1 to 55 in bold digits. Is the inspector arriving soon? Brenda asked anxiously, smoothing wrinkles from skirt. Any minute now, I replied with steady tone. You should probably settle onto the couch comfortably. Look natural. Read aloud to the children. Casually, they arranged themselves quickly. Clara gathered both children onto her lap carefully, posing like Renaissance artwork celebrating maternal devotion tenderly. Brenda perched beside them, smiling proudly at scene. Kay appeared flawless outwardly. Kay appeared like affectionate fively sharing peaceful afternoon inside luxurious penthouse suite. Kay, they appeared precisely like fraudsters anticipating discovery. I walked toward foyer quietly and positioned myself beside the heavy front door. I rested my palm upon the manila folder lying atop console table. Inside waited the affidavit. I had notarized promptly at 9 a.m. sharp. Inside rested printed security. Logs from 10 a.m. I was not passive. I was not compliant. I was gatekeeper stationed at final checkpoint here, and I had already sealed them within trap. At exactly 2 p.m., the doorbell chimed crisply. Clara smirked confidently toward me with theatrical delight. Showtime, Elon. Do not ruin this performance now. I offered no returning smile whatsoever in response. I simply opened door. A man waited outside within the quiet hallway. He was neither officer nor intimidating courtroom lawyer. He appeared middle-aged, wearing beige raincoat and carrying clipboard alongside digital tablet. He looked exhausted, methodical, and unmistakably bureaucratic. This was Mr. Vance's official Rezency, verification officer representing Lake Washington School District. Clara moved toward him instantly with rehearsed grace. Her expression rearranged itself into practiced maternal exhaustion. You must represent the district office, she gushed, warmly, extending hand. I apologize for clutter. You understand life with children is unpredictable chaos. We have attempted organizing, but Liam abandoned shoes directly within entryway area. And Ava remains utterly obsessed with coloring books. Please come inside comfortably, she insisted, gesturing broadly toward living room where my mother sat rigidly reading book held completely upside down. Mr. Vance stepped forward, eyes methodically scanning surroundings. He did not offer a friendly smile or greeting. He observed muddy sneakers resting beside doorway threshold. He noted cereal boxes lined across kitchen counter. He paused at world's best mom mug beside my stainless espresso machine. "Thank you for accommodating T's short notice visit, Mr. Vance." Stated evenly, his tone remained dry, measured, almost detached entirely. "We must verify certain details regarding enrollment forms for Liam and Ava. Standard. Procedure triggered automatically by out-of-catchment discrepancies flagged." Of course, absolutely. Clara nodded vigorously with enthusiasm. "We have nothing concealed. It's visible. We are completely settled here already." My sister Eileen, she motioned toward me quickly, "is delighted hosting us." "It takes a supportive village, does it not?" Mr. Vance shifted gaze directly toward my face. He reviewed notes clipped securely upon his board. "You are Aylin, official leaseholder for the Sunit residence, correct?" "I am," I answered calmly. "And you are recorded as primary residence sponsor on affidavit accompanying application." He continued reading precisely. "Miss Clara indicated she and children reside here full-time, minimum 4 nights weekly, without exception. Do you confirm accuracy?" Clara flashed, warning glance toward me sharply, desperate. "Sign the paper silently. Perform your assigned role." I did not acknowledge her silent command whatsoever. I looked directly toward Mr. Vance without hesitation. "No," I said clearly. The air evacuated room all at once abruptly. Clara's smile froze, asterisk twitching faintly at corners. "Excuse me?" Mr. Vance asked, pen hovering above the digital tablet screen. I calmly reached towards manila folder resting on the console table. I opened it deliberately and removed a thick sealed legal document. I extended it forward and handed it over. "I do not confirm that statement whatsoever," I said, voice steady, and unshaken throughout entirely. "This is a notarized affidavit of non-resident status declaration. I had it officially stamped at my bank this morning precisely. 9 a.m. It clearly states under penalty of perjury that I remain sole resident of this apartment. No children reside here. No children have ever resided here previously either. Aylin?" Brenda gasped loudly from couch, dropping book. "What exactly are you doing right now?" Clara hissed sharply, stepping closer with visible panic rising. She is joking completely. She is simply overwhelmed today, not thinking clearly. I have also attached security access logs covering the previous 6 months. I continued calmly, ignoring their interruption entirely. I pointed directly towards second page within Mr. Vance's steady grasp, firmly as clearly shown there. "There exists zero recorded usage of my sister's key fob access credentials until approximately 2 hours ago this afternoon." Precisely. The timestamps indicate building entry occurred 12:05 p.m. today, without prior history. Mr. Vance studied paperwork. He glanced toward clock, scanned scattered toys carefully across white rug. "So, these children's belongings," he began cautiously. Speaking. Mr. Vance examined muddy shoes arranged conspicuously nearby. "My sister and mother arrived exactly 2 hours ago carrying packed suitcases to stage this apartment specifically for inspection purposes." I stated evenly without visible emotion surfacing. "The toothbrush placed inside bathroom remains completely dry, unused. Clothing hanging inside closet still displays retail price tags firmly attached, untouched. This constitutes fraudulent attempt to obtain district enrollment using my address unlawfully without my consent whatsoever." Clara lunged toward me in sudden desperation, rising. She did not strike me physically, yet grasped my arm tightly, digging her manicured nails painfully. "Shut up immediately, liar. Tell him the actual truth right now. Tell him we permanently reside here full-time together." I firmly pulled my arm free from her grip. "The truth exists clearly within documented paperwork. Mr. Vance, I am neither guardian nor authorized sponsor, and I am formally reporting this situation as an intentional attempt to defraud the district authorities directly." Mr. Vance stepped backward, his detached demeanor dissolving. He photographed muddy sneakers, the strategically planted mug, The partially unpacked luggage, evidence suggesting intent to defraud. He murmured quietly, typing rapidly into tablet. Clara's complexion drained pale. Her carefully crafted charm. Performance abruptly concluded entirely. "You cannot possibly proceed," she whispered, hoarsely shaken. "You are destroying their future opportunities completely." "No," I responded evenly. "I am auditing the present." Mr. Vance raised eyes toward both of us. "Based upon homeowner affidavit and documented access logs, this application stands denied. This file will immediately be forwarded to District Legal Review Department promptly. You are ineligible for enrollment effective immediately." Clara's panic crystallized into calculation. She shifted tactics abruptly. "She is lying outright," she insisted, forcing tears. "She is not victim. She is willing accomplice." She thrust her phone forward aggressively toward him. $22,000. She sold me use of this address. My mother supported claim instantly without hesitation whatsoever. "It's absolutely true," she sobbed dramatically aloud. She demanded direct payment. Too impartial outsider observing, accusation appeared deeply incriminating. Mr. Vance turned toward me with measured caution. "Selling residency privileges constitutes criminal offense under statute." "I did not sell anything whatsoever," I replied calmly without raising voice. "Then explain transferred funds." Clara snapped sharply, accusingly. I did not debate. I reached into my work bag, deliberately retrieving a thick, organized binder. I placed it squarely upon console table surface. "You are correct entirely," I said. "That figure demands transparent documentation fully." I opened binder methodically. Tab 1, Access Logs. 0 building entries recorded for Clara, historically documented. Tab 2, Detailed Financials. Each transfer printed clearly and highlighted. For emphasis, please review memo descriptions carefully listed beside amounts. I labeled them loan for asthma medication treatment, emergency rent assistance provided, automobile repair support funds, repayment pending status indicated. Clara's visible confidence faltered. Every dollar categorized explicitly as personal loan extended, which leads directly toward tab 3 contained herein. I turned pages revealing official filed tax documentation. If I declared entire amount formally as bad debt, if I categorized rent, income, I would have reported earnings accordingly to authorities. I did not do so intentionally or otherwise. Therefore, either these constituted loans legally documented, or you have confessed publicly to unreported taxable income. Silence settled heavily across room without interruption lingering. Mr. Vance closed binder slowly with finality clear. He wrote citation carefully and handed it toward Clara without hesitation present. "The district seeks restitution totaling $60,000 immediately payable." Brenda pleaded desperately then, her composure finally cracking. Then I spoke calmly. "You co-signed her lease agreement, legally binding yourself," I said evenly, without emotion clouding statement made. "That renders your retirement assets potential collateral security." Brenda stepped backward, visibly shaken, survival instinct overriding loyalty. "I need contact my bank immediately," she muttered, turning quickly toward door. Clara dragged heavy suitcases across marbles, screaming accusations about money and betrayal. "That represents logistics issue," I replied, coolly composed. "And I am off the clock effective immediately." When door finally closed behind them forcefully, the apartment felt lighter, cleaner, restored to balance. I lifted staged pink mug and dropped it into trash decisively. It shattered loudly inside. I deleted Clara's contact. Reset building door code, secure. I lost a sister that day, but I saved my future.